Born in a small village in the Eastern Cape, Masenwabe Ntloko is an illustrator, designer, and visual artist. His love for art started at a very young age, when he used to draw sketches of his favorite cartoons and his family members. Passion and drive led to his mom allowing him to pursue a career in the creative space. Today, Ntloko is a textile design graduate and a founder of Create Studios.
It's gonna sound like a cliche story, but I think I've always known. Like, I think from a very young age, I remember because I started drawing like Dragon Ball Z, and which is why I have the Dragon Ball Z tattoo. Like, that's really where it started. And I think from there, I finally found something that I really loved and enjoyed, and I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Just under 25, Ntloko has collaborated with some of the biggest South African clothing brands. But it was the rug design collection that got people talking.
It's a very weird story, but like, all my stories are actually weird. So basically what happened was, one, had zero experience in making rugs because I have a textile design background. So what happened was, just one day I just woke up and I'm like, you know what, I feel like making rugs. And I tweeted it. And a friend of mine replied, it's like, yo, I know people who can help you do it. So I got in touch with the people, which was the company that I collaborated with, Edum. This is a conversation that started December 2020 and continued till I think May 2021. So we were just having like a back and forth conversation because I was introducing a concept that was new, in terms of how rugs look like, in terms of how rugs should, like, so it was a bit hard for, I wouldn't say hard for them to understand, but it was like, because it wasn't like the normal rug that, it was a bit hard to even get the proper samples. It was hard to make sure that it looked the way that I wanted it to look. So we finally got to a point where we found common ground, and then we released it to the world.
Let's go to where the magic happens. So you can show me a thing or two.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
So tell me, what's your current working on?
This is just like an artwork that I've been working on for a few days now. And to tell you the truth, I don't really have like a big plan for it. It's just like, even the whole painting thing, actually, it's just something that I think the inner child in me wanted to do now that I had a bit of time on my hands. I've always drawn by hand, for example, right? Then I think when I went to varsity, then that's when I started like creating using a computer. So a lot of the stuff that's on the clothes, a lot of the stuff that's on the rugs is digitally like rendered. So there's like digital sketch pads that you use to create work like that. So I've been doing that for like years. So I only started doing stuff by hand last month.
His love for his culture is isiXhosa, personal experience, and hip-hop music is what inspires him.
Growing up, a lot of my work was very hip-hop inspired, even when I was doing like my first year, a lot of my work had a lot to do with like graffiti, it had a lot to do with, and then I think I just got to a point where I just wanted to do stuff that represented me, like, because let's say I do something internationally, for example. When I take whatever is graffiti inspired to like a New York, for example, it doesn't speak to who I am. It speaks to a part of who I am, but doesn't speak to who I am holistically. So what I tried to do was create work that spoke to me. It represented my people, it represented my upbringing. So it slowly just ended up becoming what you see here.
Not only does it design rugs, he has also designed album covers for different South African artists.
So basically, this is some of the stuff that we do with Create Studios. So this is work that I've done for a very good friend of mine, who's also an artist called Zuchi Kobdo. He's a rapper. This is what I did for the legendary Jimmy Lulu. So for his album. And this is what I did for Dem Tuda's album last year. Then this is what I did for the hit Wamuhle.
Oh wow.
Yeah. This is also what I did for Dem Tuda for
Another hit.
Yeah, Mr. Hit, ne?
Emlanjeni.
Mr. Hit.
Did this for DJ Stokkie's first album. I also worked on his second album and the EP.
Nice.
So this is what I did for Simpiwe Dana.
Love this. Love this.
According to Ntloko, if you have the love and passion, nothing can stop your dreams.
We wrap up our stay in Maun, Botswana with a boat cruise on Bodeti River, a magnet for thirsty wildlife. A little adventure on a speedboat taking us to the other side before boarding the Tlo cruise. The Bodeti forms the western boundary of the Makgadikgadi Pans National Park. A wildlife spectacle that guarantees total relaxation.
We are in Janoga. This is part of the Bodeti River. It's an inflow from the Okavango Delta, which passes through the Tamalakane River, and then Bodeti. And now we are in Bodeti.
The cruise is an encompassing experience that reminds you of what the region has to offer. All of this on water.
The idea was to not only give you places to stay, but also give you an experience, so you could know what it is to do something adrenaline-based, something a bit cultural, just so you could get a feel of what Botswana is as a country. So our first stop was the food culture. Moon spot, very nice, great food. Her story as well is very inspirational. She loves what she does. She's got a very good product. And then we had Tao Safari Lodge, Ratanang Space, great experience as well. Nicely situated along the river, something very different pace, very nice. And then back into Maun, Cresta is a phenomenal place. It's one of the best venues to give clients as they're coming in and out of this area. And it served as a great spot to have our guests actually go out for those experiences.
1 hour of leisure on still waters was exactly what was needed before heading back to the hustle and bustle of city life.